There's something unsettling about a firearm that can't be trusted. Imagine standing at the range, lining up your sight, only to feel the dull click of a dead trigger. Or worse, experiencing a malfunction when you need your pistol the most. Some designs are plagued by heavy triggers that destroy accuracy, while others suffer from inconsistent feeding that turns range day into a clearing drill. Some pistols are simply outdated relics clinging to relevance in a market that has long since moved on to superior alternatives. Whether it's a spongy trigger that ruins precision, a bulky frame that defeats the purpose of concealment, or a history of reliability issues that should have been resolved years ago, the pistols I'll be reviewing in this video demand caution. But this isn't about bashing firearms. It's about recognizing that some designs simply aren't worth the trade-offs when better options exist. A slightly higher investment often means the difference between frustration and confidence between a gun that fights against you and one that fights for you. The market has evolved, and so should your standards, because when it comes to something as critical as a defensive firearm, good enough isn't good enough. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to buy. So get ready to lock and load, because we're diving into the 9mm pistols you need to stop buying right now if you don't want to learn this the hard way. Starting with the Taurus G2C, a pistol that's been a staple in the budget handgun market for years, often priced between $250 and $300, it's easy to see why so many first-time buyers are drawn to it, maybe because it offers a 12-round capacity, a compact frame, and a decent trigger, at least on paper. While cheap, it's often criticized for its spongy trigger and less refined feel compared to slightly pricier alternatives. The reality, however, is that Taurus has a long history of inconsistent quality control, meaning while some G2Cs run flawlessly, others are plagued by feeding issues, failure to eject malfunctions, and even safety concerns that have led to lawsuits in the past. For a defensive firearm, reliability is non-negotiable, and the G2C's hit-or-miss reputation makes it a risky choice when there are far more dependable options available for just a little more money. The Smith & Wesson M&P Shield, for example, can be found for around $400 to $450, and it's a massive upgrade in every conceivable way, with a better trigger, superior ergonomics, and a reputation for rock-solid reliability that Taurus simply can't match. Then there's the Hi-Point C9, known for its bulky size, heavy weight, poor ergonomics, and very basic design. Its only real appeal is its extremely low cost. This is a pistol so cheap it's almost legendary, as it often sells for between $150 and $200, making it one of the least expensive 9mm handguns you can buy today. The problem, however, is that the C9 is a textbook example of getting what you pay for. It's bulky, heavy, and ugly, with a single-stack 8-round magazine that feels archaic in an era of high-capacity micro-compacts. While Hi-Points are known for going bang when you pull the trigger, they're also known for jamming under rapid fire, having terrible triggers, and offering virtually no aftermarket support. If you're looking for a budget 9mm that doesn't feel like a brick in your hand, the Canik TP9 Elite SC is a far better choice at around $350 to $400, offering a 12+1 or a 15+1 capacity, an excellent trigger, and optics-ready options that make it a much more versatile and enjoyable pistol to shoot. The CPX-2 frequently receives complaints about its long, heavy trigger pull and a history of inconsistent reliability, making it less ideal for many. It's another budget option that falls short, as it's typically priced between $250 and $300. It boasts a double-stack 10-round magazine and a lifetime warranty, but suffers from a heavy, gritty trigger that makes accurate shooting a challenge. Many users report frequent malfunctions, especially with hollow point ammunition, and the lightweight frame makes recoil harsh and unpleasant. For just a little more money, the Ruger Max 9 at around $400 to $450 is a far superior micro-compact with a smoother trigger, better ergonomics, and the option for an optics-ready slide, making it a much smarter investment for anyone serious about concealed carry or home defense. You may want to compare and see which suits you best. Some of these older polymer clones of Tanfoglio CZ designs have been reported to have reliability or quality control issues compared to their steel counterparts or newer models. The Armscore Rock Island Armory MAP MS, priced around $350 to $400, is another pistol that seems appealing on paper but falls short in execution. While Rock Island Armory has a solid reputation for its 1911s, their polymer-framed pistols don't have the same track record, with the MAP MS suffering from a mediocre trigger, a rough finish, and occasional reliability issues, particularly with defensive ammunition. For the same price, the CZ-P10C is a far better choice, offering an excellent trigger, superb ergonomics, and outstanding reliability, making it one of the best striker-fired pistols in its price range. But like I said earlier, some of these guns are budget traps, which are cheap up front, but plagued with flaws that'll haunt you later on. Others are outdated relics, clinging to relevance in a market that's left them behind. And a few straight-up range nightmares that'll have you questioning your life choices. Kel-Tec P11, priced around $250 to $300, is another budget 9mm that fails to impress. A very compact pistol, but often cited for a notoriously heavy and long trigger pull, significant recoil, and sometimes finicky reliability. While it's lightweight and concealable, its long, heavy trigger pull and snappy recoil make it unpleasant to shoot, and Kel-Tec's spotty quality control means some units are prone to feeding and injection issues. If you want a compact 9mm that's actually enjoyable to shoot, the Glock 43X at around $450 to $500 is a far better option, with a 10-round capacity, Glock's legendary reliability, and a much smoother shooting experience. The truth is, buying a 9mm in 2025 shouldn't be a gamble, yet too many shooters fall for the allure of a cheap price tag or a familiar name, only to discover the hard way that their new gun has unforgivable quirks. Even though the Beretta APX A1 Carry has many advantages, it's not without its flaws. From a stiff trigger pull to occasional feed failures with certain ammo types, this pistol has some quirks that can affect its performance. While functional overall, its attempt at slimness sometimes sacrifices too much in shootability and capacity compared to its rivals, and the trigger can be a point of contention. The Beretta APX A1 Carry is a micro-compact 9mm that should be a home run given Beretta's reputation, but it falls short with a lackluster trigger, excessive recoil for its size, and a low 6+1 or 8+1 capacity priced around $400 to $450. And for the same price range, the Sig Sauer P365 is the clear winner and is worth considering, offering a 10+1 or 12+1 capacity, an excellent trigger, and manageable recoil, making it one of the best micro-compact pistols on the market right now. Not to bash the Beretta APX A1 Carry, but from personal observations, I prefer the Sig Sauer P365. This model had a very troubled launch with numerous reported reliability problems and design flaws, leaving a lasting negative impression. Remington's RP9 was an attempt to compete in the budget 9mm market, but Remington's financial troubles and declining quality control led to numerous complaints about malfunctions, poor ergonomics, and weak durability. If you, my friend, are looking for a reliable striker-fired pistol in this price range, the Walther PDP Compact at around $500 to $600 is a considerable choice with an outstanding trigger, superb ergonomics, and excellent reliability. The Sig P250 isn't a gun many people think about anymore. When first introduced, it had its fair share of teething problems. Sig eventually came out with a second generation version, although it wasn't called that, which fixed a lot of the problems. You can tell the difference between the first and second generation of 250s by the grip module that was included. Even though the P250's problems were basically fixed, it just wasn't meant to be, and the 250 ceased to be a gun that Sig made. This is the age of the striker, and anything else has a tough uphill battle to fight, unfortunately. Now, the P250 is relegated to the used blaster bin, where when found, they can be purchased for around $300, give or take a few Alexander Hamiltons. If you aren't familiar with the P250, one of the things that made it not so popular is that it's a double-action only hammer-fired gun. In the case of the P250, this translates to a long but actually pretty light trigger press. Basically, it's like a revolver, except lighter. Sadly, this is a striker-fired world now, and the market obsesses over shorter, lighter, and crisper trigger presses. Proof of that is in the P320. The Sig P320 is essentially a striker-fired P250, and that sells like hotcakes. That's probably what did the P250 in. The only other oddball feature of the P250 is the rear sight. Not only that, but also the retaining plate for the firing pin and everything else in the slide. This means the only people making rear sights for the P250 is Sig. Want anything other than some sort of 3-dot sight setup? Sorry, it doesn't exist. Personally, I find that incredibly annoying, as I'm sure many other shooters do too. For a little more money, the Sig Sauer P320 at around $500 to $600 is a massive upgrade with a modular design, crisp trigger, and superior ergonomics, making it one of the most versatile pistols on the market. Polymer 80, at one time the largest manufacturer of 80% receiver kits for home gun builders, has shut down operations, becoming a casualty of the anti-Second Amendment agenda. The company caved to insurmountable legal defense and settlement costs that have plagued Polymer 80 to the tune of millions. This specifically refers to Glock-style pistols assembled by individuals from 80% receiver kits lacking manufacturer QC and official serial numbers. Polymer 80 ghost gun builds, which typically cost between $400 and $600 when all is said and done, are another option that should be avoided. While some builds work fine, many others suffer from reliability issues due to improper assembly or out-of-spec parts, and for a defensive firearm, you want something with guaranteed reliability. A factory-built Glock 19 Gen 5 at around $500 to $600 is a far safer choice with proven reliability and a warranty that a homemade pistol literally can't match. Finally, the Springfield Armory XDE is a hammer-fired single-stack 9mm that feels outdated in today's market with a bulky design and low 8+1 capacity. It was an attempt to blend hammer-fired DASA with the XD platform that often feels like a compromise with a somewhat clunky design and controls that aren't preferred by many compared to dedicated DASA or striker-fired options, which is priced around $500 to $550. If you want a compact hammer-fired pistol, the HK P30SK at around $600 to $700 is a far better option with superior ergonomics, a better trigger, and a 10+1 capacity. In the end, while some of these pistols might work fine for casual range use, they're outclassed by better options in the same price range, and when it comes to something as important as a defensive firearm, settling for mediocrity simply isn't an option. Spending a little more for a proven pistol from a reputable manufacturer is always the smarter choice, And in 2025, there's no reason to compromise when superior alternatives are readily available. Enjoyed this review of 9mm pistols you need to stop buying in 2025? Make sure you're subscribed and click a thumbnail to dive right back into more fascinating firearms content from us. Thank you so much for watching.